Hey guys, welcome back. I believe you have noticed the cover of the video. In previous video, our site always kept on the firearms in Asia, especially in East Asia. I'm thinking if we can zoom out our map and find out various traditions and cultures about firearms in the world, but not only one land. So in today's video, let's focus on more kinds of firearms from different areas in the black powder time. Also, this video will be a new branch of my black powder time series. Now, today, let's talk about the Tennessee long rifle. Generally, this traditional Tennessee gun, which is a typical flintlock, but after the percussion cap got popular, these guns also upgraded to caplock. After we were listening to the stories of East Asian firearms, we can find that it was likely everybody walked down the same path, but in East Asia, more it was from matchlock to percussion lock directly. If we go deeper to know the traditional Tennessee gun, after knowing its trigger system, we can put this kind of gun on the long rifle. When we talk about the long rifle, we can't avoid the man, Martin Meylin, because he is the designer of the long rifle. In fact, due to history being too early from our life nowadays, so many stories have faded in the hundreds of years' time. And now we just know Mr. Meylin might be the most iconic designer of the long rifle. But beside him, possibly there still were other designers forgotten in the history. Martin Meylin, born in 1665, and at the same moment, China was just into the years of Kangxi, and the time of Japan had been in the early Edo period. The birthplace of Mr. Meylin was Rhineland-Palatinate, now a state in Germany. So in a way, the American long rifle had some blood from Germany. In 1710, arrived in the Pequea in what is now Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. In the local history, Martin Meylin was either a gunsmith or blacksmith, and his son, Martin Meylin Jr., also practiced his professions. Mr. Meylin was a gunsmith best known for inventing Daniel Bone's gun, the Kentucky long rifle. This kind of gun also was called the Pennsylvania rifle or just a long rifle. It combined features of British rifling, Germanic style mechanisms, and included a practically long barrel for great accuracy. So it was one of the most early kinds of Asian firearms which could have rifling. It also resulted that the long rifle wasn't a kind of cheap gun, and it was not easy to reload compared with the normal musket at the same time. So at first, long rifles were made for the personal clients like hunters, frontiersmen, etc., but not the troops. And for the military weapons, long rifle had other shortcomings, such as not being able to equip the bayonets. The price was not cheap, and there was a lack of military standardization. But because of the accurate range of 300 yards compared to 100 yards for small-bore muskets, part of long rifles were used as sniper weapons that appeared in warfare, like the American Revolutionary War. Since the long rifle was invented in North America, this kind of gun gradually became one of the most iconic firearms of the United States, with the long rifle spread to other states in North America in around the 1800s. Many states also developed their own long rifles. The Tennessee long rifle was an example. In history, there were hundreds of gunsmiths in Tennessee. Until now, this long rifle still can have a great life as a traditional simple and a modern collection. Nowadays, you can even order one on a website for around $1,000 to experience the Asian feeling of shooting. Today, we will see one of the legendary gunsmiths of Tennessee long rifle, Valentine Bull. For many collectors, The long rifles made by John Bull were always an attractive collection. He was born on February 14, 1777, in Harford County, Maryland, just east of Baltimore City. In 1806, John Valentine Bull married William Bain's granddaughter, Fitna Bain, and thus joined together the two most preeminent families in East Tennessee gunsmithing. The guns of both families seem to be the source for the overly long air-bridge tongue that has come to be one of the dominant features of early Tennessee rifles. This extended tongue is sometimes only a few inches longer than a normal one, but in many cases with rifles from the Bains and Bulls, the tongue is inlaid through the length of the wrist and even up onto the stock-comb. During the early part of the 19th century, compared with the long rifles in Pennsylvania, whose caliber and barrel started going smaller and shorter, but the guns of East Tennessee remained quite long, with 44 inches to 48 inches barrel being the norm, and around .40 inches caliber. According to some historical documents, the factors of many using the long barrel and the big bullet may be the not good enough quality of the gunpowder, because in the very early 19th century, Tennessee still was in the frontier range. Thus, a longer barrel was needed to burn it efficiently and get the most out of the charge. Now, when we look back to these long rifles, the Tennessee long rifle is not just a traditional gun, but also a symbol of the American frontier and the ingenuity of early American gunsmiths. Its long barrel and accuracy made it a favorite among hunters and frontiersmen, and even found its way onto the battlefield during the Revolutionary War. Today, it remains a beloved collector's item and a testament to the rich history of firearms in America. The legacy of the long rifle lives on, and its story continues to inspire, captivate us. Until now, there are still many modern gunsmiths who can keep doing the traditional guns business. So now, it makes more children and teenagers are still able to see and touch the history, but not just see the historical guns pictures from the textbooks. Okay, this is today's video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. See you next time. Bye.